Good to go. Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So, big week for Manchester United this. We are making progress on two key deals, and it really is coming quick and fast for Manchester United. Players going, players coming in. Finally, we're starting to kick into gear into the actual transfer window. It's only took us, what, like a month and a half? But finally, we find ourselves in a position where we're getting business done. And that is so crucial. I can see everyone down in the comments. Good to see you guys. Hope you're all doing very well. So let's go through this. Let's look at this one by one, deal by deal, starting with the big one, Rasmus Hojlund. So, Manchester United, look, this Hojlund deal has been dragging on for a long time. I will admit that. You guys will admit that. I feel like we've been talking about this for over 5 weeks, maybe. And look, obviously there was different priorities. The first one was Mount, then it was Onana. Now it's very much Rasmus Hojlund. It's very much Sofian Amrabat, and those are the players we're going for. So, coming in from Alfredo Pedulla. So, Atalanta are expecting the bid for Hojlund to be by Thursday. Now, we were told it could be around about the start of the week, so that kind of adds into the time frame we're expecting. Look, official bids, they don't become public knowledge straight away. The bid might have been done today, it might have been done yesterday, it might go in tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen with that one. But look, we're waiting with bated breath. We're looking forward to this. But whilst we've been looking forward to Hojlund, this Amrabat deal has really started to heat up as well. So coming in from Italian sources, Sofian Amrabat, he is training by himself, not with the actual Fiorentina squad. Manchester United have made contacts again for Amrabat, and they expect to close the deal for around about 25 million. So for a player of this quality, guys, it's really a top level deal, because Amrabat comes in, brings a lot of things to this team, brings depth, he brings quality. You know, he's very good on possession, he holds on to the ball really well, and overall I think he's a really top level player. So look, I'm asking you guys tonight, it's a question of confidence, a question of belief. What do you guys think? Can Manchester United get these two deals done this week? That's what we're asking you guys. So it's a yes, it's a no, or it's a we only get Hojlund done. Because look, Amrabat, yes, we're closing in on a deal. Player wants to come. Player has said he doesn't want to go to Liverpool, which that already should make him popular amongst you guys. I'm very happy with that decision from Sofian Amrabat, but I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of a delay. Whether we get them both done in the 1 week, let's find out. I can see the usual guys down there in the comments. We've got Stephanie, good to see you. We've got Dan as well, hope you're well, man. We've got Nick as well. Yusuf, good to see you as well. BT, good to see you as well, man. You're saying, can they? Yes, will they? Who knows? And Rizwan's down there as well. And Lucky Singh as well. So great to see everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining in with us, guys. So, looking at Hojlund, there's a lot of different stuff coming out. And we've seen this with the Onana deal, and this is something that we've seen as well with Amrabat. The Italian press do kind of jump the gun a little bit. They go quite early with it. They tend to take verbal discussions as actual bids. I don't know why, but it does seem to be something that has happened throughout this window. Look, I read the Athletics article on Andre Onana, and it's something United do want to clamp down on. It's something United want to have some deal of control over. They want to see less false reporting or less jumping of the gun, because they feel like it's putting pressure on them. So we're going to find out what's going to happen with that. I'm expecting both deals done within the next 10 days. I think 10 days is a realistic time frame. If we're bidding for Hojlund by Thursday, hopefully that bid goes in today, tomorrow, Thursday at the very latest, and then maybe that gets accepted. I would love to think, and I really hope with Manchester United, that we haven't spent months upon months negotiating with Atalanta just to offer a fee that we know is going to be rejected anyway. So that's my big worry. And look, a lot of the English press, they're going with this stuff. What is it, like 85 million? It's never going to be that much. Atalanta, they want around about 60 million guaranteed plus add-ons, so it's gonna be happening. Who have we got down here as well? Rizwan, good to see you. Luman as well. Hello to you. I hope you're good, man. And yeah, look, I feel like the deal is going to be done with Hojlund. It's just going to be a matter of time. Amrabat seems to be heating up nicely. And something I can say about every player we've brought in this season, every player we've been linked to, that we've been seriously in for in negotiations and everything else, they want to come and play for Manchester United. they want to come and play for United, and that is an absolutely massive thing for me. So guys, what are your thoughts? Get them down into the comments as well. Good to see everybody down there. So there is something else we want to talk about real quickly. I think Dan mentioned it at the very start of the chat. Let me just scroll up here. So in terms of players going out, West Ham are interested in both Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire, guys. So I don't know. I would love for that to be the case. I would love for them to take both. I feel like with United, there's a reluctance to sell, especially Scott McTominay, for whatever reason. And we can see this from the Sky Sports article that we have down there. So West Ham, they have held initial talks with Manchester United over the signing of Scott McTominay. For United to consider a sale, it would have to be a very big offer. We've seen Manchester United want around about £40 million for Scott McTominay. Look, he's a good player. He would be a brilliant player for West Ham. Is he a £40 million player? No chance, absolutely not. But I think what United are doing is looking at the actual market as a whole, trying to base valuations of that. You know, whenever you see West Ham bidding for Conor Gallagher at 40 million, can we charge the same amount for Harry Maguire? That's the question United are asking as well. Who else we got down in the comments? Got Lucky Singh down there as well. And this will break West Ham straight away at 25 million. Yeah, look, I think they need to go for that. I feel like United need to come down a bit. I think it's all well and good saying we want 40 million for Maguire, 40 million for McTominay, but no one's going to pay that sort of money. But look, West Ham, they're pushing on with both players, and those are two players I really think we need to sell. I really do think we need to sell McTominay and we need to sell Maguire, because I don't see a way back for Harry Maguire at Manchester United. I really don't. And if I had to pick one of them to go, I would say Maguire. Like, this is a guy who was club captain for 3.5 years, and he has been sold. Sorry, he has lost that captain's armband. He has lost his first team place. He should be sold, in my opinion. There's no doubt about it in my mind, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are agreeing as well. Dan's looking 50 for both. I think that's a good amount. I think that's a fair amount. Look, McTominay, yeah, he's got the age on his side. Maguire's got the international experience, you know, former United captain, I guess. That also will go for him. But I seriously think that we should be realistic in the valuations. And look, we've done some decent business today as well. Anthony Elanga has joined Nottingham Forest for £15 million. And that's a really good amount, guys. I'm very happy with that sale. I just don't think we're going to get considerably more for McTominay or for Harry Maguire. I really don't. And look, West Ham need to be realistic. Obviously, they know themselves, and everybody in football knows, those guys just got £105 million for Declan Rice. So they're going to be having a lot of valuations jump up. And that's what happens when you hold clubs to ransom for players, when you try to extort clubs for massive amounts of money. It swings and round. It goes in swings and roundabouts, guys. What goes around comes around, and West Ham are now finding out that clubs are realizing these guys just got 100 million plus their original transfer budget, so they're gonna have to spend some stuff as well. Let's see. Dan is saying Fred and Henderson need to go. Yes, we do have updates on Dean Henderson, and a player I really want to go, guys. Like, seriously. So this is coming in from, I believe it is Pete Boyle, from the Sports Echo. So he is saying Dean Henderson is close to finalising a permanent move to Nottingham Forest, and I'm glad about that, because we've seen it all week. There's been talk of Forest thinking about a loan deal, a loan to buy. I think what United need to do, foot down and say, if you want Dean Henderson, you pay the money for him. You've had him on loan last year. He's 25 years old. We need to get this guy sold on. Big T saying, I don't care about cost. It's not my bank account. Just get rid of them fast. Yeah, man. Look, I definitely agree to a certain extent. And look, I feel like there's a real attempt for Manchester United in this window that they want to go out, and what they really want to do is start to right the wrongs of the past, start to change perception within the market that we are a club who sells for peanuts and buys really overpriced. And I think that's something we do want to try and move away from. And look, I completely back the club in that. I completely agree we need to do that. But I also think we need to be realistic. Whenever we're seeing £50 million valuations put on Harry Maguire, when we're seeing 45 million put on Scott McTominay, that's just never going to happen. You're never going to sell those players at that amount. And look, I think we need to be realistic. I think the club need to accept that these players, they're not as good as what we think they are. That's what I think the big thing is as well. I think definitely within United, there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of backstage and backroom shenanigans going on. We know this already. Maguire's been a player who was given the captain's armband, what, like 3 months after he signed? That's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of. And if Harry Maguire hadn't been the most expensive centre back in history at that time, he would not have been made the club captain. There was definitely some sort of internal pressure, either coming from the board, from whoever signed him, whoever done the deal, maybe from the Glazer family as well, that this guy would be a big player for Manchester United. I really, really do believe that there's definitely been backstage politics on that. Because, look, when you consider it, like, somebody has put their professional reputation on the line. Somebody has put their career on the line in thinking, yeah, Maguire for £80 million, that's a worthwhile deal. So I'm glad. I am really, really glad that we're going to sell this guy. I think the sooner he goes, the better. And I think we need to be realistic. I think £25 million is a very fair offer. Who've we got? Emmanuel is saying we don't have a striker. We need Rasmus, please. Yes, man. I firmly believe we're getting Rasmus Hojlund. I think all the signs are starting to look that way. And we're seeing a real pattern emerging in the transfer market, in United's transfer dealings. So, first and foremost, coming from Fabrizio Romano. So, Manchester United will not overpay for Hojlund. This is clear. Atalanta value the player around €70 million, but will try to entertain negotiations of 55 to 60 million. Personal terms are 100% agreed. So this is the exact same scenario. This is the exact same story that Manchester United find themselves in with Mason Mount, with Andre Onana. It starts off with this. This is what it starts off with. We will not overpay. You're trying to overcharge us. We want a deal. We want the player. We're only going to do it on our terms. And then the next thing, I guarantee the next thing we see is Manchester United saying, we're going to walk away and we are going to take, we're going to go for another striker. We're going to go for somebody else because we did this with Mount. We said we're going to go for Caicedo in that case. We did this with Onana. We said, oh, if you don't sell him at a price that we're happy with, we're going to play Dean Henderson. And now we're doing it with Rasmus Hojlund. This is what the whole Kolo Muani stuff is about. Look, you only have to read between the lines. When Atalanta are spending £30 million on a striker, that's a Hojlund replacement. They know he's going, we know he's going, and we know he's coming to United. So it's just United playing games in the market. We've done this all summer long. It's the same brief. It's the same spin put out there by the club. And look, it's gonna happen. It will probably happen with Amrabat. We will probably say we will offer you 22 million. And oh, if you don't take that, we're just gonna keep Fred and play him anyway. That's probably what we're gonna go for. Ernest is saying, I will be happy if we sign Rasmus. Yeah, I will be very, very happy with Rasmus Hojlund. I think he's a brilliant player. I think, look, he's not a Harry Kane. He is not perfect. He is raw in his game, but I think that makes him all the more exciting. And this is a guy with so much talent and so much ability at the moment that Erik ten Hag can make him anything he wants to be. I genuinely believe that. Dan is saying, if after player sales, any chance of Kane in the last week of the window, imagine with that window and we had Hojlund and Amrabat on top, that would be absolutely brilliant. Look, I said last night, I genuinely think that if United brought in Harry Kane, Hojlund and Amrabat, you go from competing for top four, being right up there for top four, to competing for a title. Like, I do believe that, truthfully and honestly. And look, I might get clipped up. I might get bantered for it. But I genuinely believe that if you add Harry Kane to that team, and Hojlund and Amrabat, you have all the key areas covered. You have massive upgrades in striking positions, midfield, in goalkeeper. The rest of your team's going to get better. Your squad's getting better. You're adding at least 30 goals next season with Harry Kane alone. So I really do believe that could be an absolute brilliant transfer window, but I don't think it's going to happen, and it's not going to happen for many reasons. First and foremost, I don't think we have the budget for it. I really don't. I don't back Manchester United to sell these players at a price that clubs are going to pay for them. Look, if United genuinely believe they can get £45 million for Scott McTominay, 50 million for Maguire, 25 million for Dean Henderson, like 30 million for Donny van de Beek, yeah, we could do that, but I don't think it's going to happen because, you know, it's one thing saying we want to sell these players at this price. It's another thing getting anybody to actually agree to them. Like, for example, I don't know, like a Tesco meal deal could go up to £20 all in, and Tesco's think this is going to make loads of money, but no one's going to want to buy it at that price because it's not worth it. So it's the same thing with these players. It is the same things with all things in life. You know, you have to give a little to get a little. Manchester United need to have a look in the mirror. Except Maguire and Henderson and the likes, they're not that good, and we need to sell them for a fair price. We got a sheet. Good to see a man down there. Who else have we got? Stephanie saying, impossible to forget. I must be getting the big announcements. What is this here? Oh, Lucky saying, what if we go get Colomwani and save price, not ground for Man United? Yeah, I will do a poll. If you guys want to tell me what to do a poll on, I will absolutely do it. Like, I usually just make the polls up before I go live, so let me know what do you guys want me to run a poll on. Chatsport is saying, to be honest, don't know much about Rasmus, but a striker is needed. Yeah, look, any striker is probably going to be better than no striker at this point. I think Rasmus Hojlund, you know, he is a really talented player. Something he brings is he runs the pitch. Like, he will drag players out of position. He holds the ball up well. He's a good finisher. His movement's very good. There's things he needs to work on. He needs to work on his heading. You know, for a guy 6'3", 6'4", he could be making more of a nuisance of himself in the penalty box. But I think there's a really, really top level player in there. I really do as well. So looking at the rest of the stuff we want to run through tonight. So first and foremost, Anthony Elanga sold £15 million. Very, very happy with that, guys. Cannot argue with that price whatsoever. So look, this is a guy who hadn't scored a goal all of last season, and we sold him for 15 million. I think that's a really good deal for Manchester United. I think that's the best we could have hoped for. And look, there is positives with Elanga. He's a good player. I don't think he's a United player. I don't think he's United quality, but he is a good player, and I'm not going to dispute that. I think it's a great sale. I really do. Big T saying, do you worry the stronger the team gets with the signings we make, the more desirable it is for the Glazers to stay? Praying I'm wrong. Yeah, look, that's a good point. It is a good point, man. But I seriously think that in terms of the money coming in, I don't think it's going to really increase. There isn't that much of a difference in finishing top four and actually winning the league. There really isn't that much of an actual amount of money difference, and that's why the Glazer family have been really, really interested in only finishing top four, because you're basically getting the same amount of money for far less investment. So that's what I think it will come down to. Dan is saying, any truth in Martial might go to Saudi Arabia? I really hope so, man. I really hope so. And look, I like Martial. I've always liked Anthony Martial. I think he's a great finisher. I think his technical ability is absolutely superb. But two big things with him. First and foremost, it's his attitude when he's on the pitch. But the biggest problem, as everybody knows, it's getting the guy onto the pitch in the first place. And if you're not fit, you can't play, then you can't score, you can't add to the team. He is only costing this club money. And look, it's 1 year left on the deal. I would be surprised if he goes to Saudi Arabia now, because they might be thinking this is a guy we can get in a year's time for free. I don't know. What else we got? Lucky is saying, I think top four is realistic. It's a good one, man. So I'm going to ask that question to everybody in the chat as well. What do you guys think is realistic for next season? So I think what could be a realistic summer and a realistic season for United is go out, get Amrabat, go get Hojlund. I think that could be us done. And I think if we get those players on top of Mount, on top of Onana, I think top four is realistic. I think we can win a trophy, and I think we can have a decent Champions League run as well. I think we can make it to the quarterfinals, maybe. Big T is saying Martial is starting a poverty charity after stealing a living is ironic. Oh, look, man, it could extend to either of those ones. Like, you are right there as well. You are right, my man. Let me just check as well. So we have a player who's turned down a move to Manchester United by the looks of things. So Zion Suzuki has declined an offer from Manchester United to prioritise playing time ahead of the Olympics. Look, I don't really have too much of a problem with this. I like the guy. I think he's, you know, a really top level young goalkeeper, but he's not any better than Matej Kovar. Kovar won't be going back to Sparta Prague. They've signed a permanent goalkeeper. Maybe that's in relation to that. So maybe Kovar stays and is backup goalkeeper. That could be the way we go with it, if he's happy to do it. Because look, pre-season the guy's impressed me. His playing out from the box has been good. His shot stopping has been good. I would like to see him given more of an opportunity. Ashid thinks we can finish second place. Man, I love that. I really do. And look, I I don't know. I think we could. I really do think we could. Look, it's going to be more difficult this season. We're going to see Liverpool a lot better than they were last year. Chelsea, they couldn't be worse. Spurs, I don't know. They're an unknown quantity. I doubt they'll be up there. Newcastle will be there, of course. Arsenal there. City there. So there's a lot of teams going for it. We're going to find out what this United team are made of over the next 12 months or so. Chatsport is saying, I'd take the FA Cup and a top four realistically. I'd like a good run in Champions League. It's been a while. Yeah, look, it really does depend on the draw as well. And look, I said this the other night, and I do stand by it. Inter Milan are not the second best team in European football, but they managed to get to the Champions League final because of the way the brackets work. They got good draws. I don't know, maybe United could run on with that. Big T says the Olympics is his only chance of international success. I understand him. Yeah, look, it's absolutely fair, like, as well. So maybe that's what he's going to do. Maybe he is looking at his playing time. And look, I don't think he comes and plays over Onana. I really don't. So I just think maybe it's the best move for him. Go play in the Olympics, try get that international success, maybe look for a club where he can be a first team goalkeeper, and let's see what happens there. Stephanie's saying, let's get these 4 signings and we could get top 3 or top 2 if we get a fast start. Yes, guys, fast start, absolutely crucial next season. Look, we have a very big August. We're playing Nottingham Forest, we're playing Wolves, we're playing Arsenal, we play Spurs. If we can go and get, I don't know, 10 points maybe, that could be a really good start. That could be a brilliant start to the Premier League season. And then we have two difficult away games done. We've gone to Spurs, we've gone to Arsenal, and then we can have a bit of a run in September. Daz thinks Tom Heaton can do a job. I think so as well. I think I have been quietly surprised with Tom Heaton's ability on the ball, with his shot stopping as well. And maybe he does end up being that guy if we can't bring anyone else in as well. Dan is saying them home games in Champions League under the lights at Old Trafford will be amazing. Honestly, man, cannot wait for them as well. Really, really excited. And Big T is saying top 4 and a trophy is not an improvement. What's the point of bringing in new players and playing in a better way if you don't achieve more? Yeah, look, it's a good point. It is a good point. And I agree with you in the extent that, yeah, look, that is, I still think it's a progress. But I think realistically, I don't think United can go toe to toe with Man City and win a Premier League this year. I just don't think we're at that level yet. I don't think the squad's good enough to compete all season long. I think, look, honestly, if United go out and have a decent transfer window for the last couple of weeks, and we manage to finish closer to City in the league, win another trophy, have a Champions League run, I still think that's a better season than we had last year. So that's just my thoughts as well. I can see some more people joining in, so welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome if you guys are new. Please consider dropping a like and voting on the poll. I've been asking you guys tonight, can Manchester United sign both players that we want this week? So that, of course, is Hojlund and that is Sofian Amrabat. So the options are yes and it's a no, and then it's a Hojlund only, because look, this Hojlund bid is meant to be going in within the next, 24, 48 hours. So we have to think it's going to happen soon. We have to think it's going to come closer. Surely this bid's been made if it hasn't already gone in. That's got to be key. And I think when we're seeing the press saying we're going to walk away from the deal if it's too expensive, if they don't come down on their valuation, I don't buy that for a second, because we've done this already. We've done it with Mount, we've done it with Onana, we're doing it with Hojlund, and I've no doubt we will do it with Sofian Amrabat. This is clearly a Manchester United club policy. This is clearly something we're trying to do, is faking these teams out by threatening to walk away from negotiations. And I don't know. I think it's a good move if it's working, but I think we can all see it through it at this point. Let's see. Lucky Singh says Arsenal will be amazing. I mean, Arsenal will be good. Make no mistake about it. But I don't think they've improved as much as they think they have. Let me see as well. Who else we got? Felix is saying City haven't really done any business and have weakened considerably. Yeah, look. If they get Gvardiol, yeah, that's one thing. Obviously, they've let some big players go, the likes of Gundogan, the likes of Riyad Mahrez, but look, those guys still have Erling Haaland up top. They still have Kevin De Bruyne setting him up every week. They will be right up there as well. Who have we got? Big T saying City are losing some important players, and you could ask after a treble, will they still be hungry? I think City could have a drop-off season. I hope so. I really, really hope so. And Daz is right. No striker yet is crazy. We want to see that fixed. We want to see United go after Rasmus Hojlund. So, look, The bid is meant to go in by Thursday. That is what everybody is saying. That is all of the talk at the moment in relation to Rasmus Hojlund. Fabrizio says Manchester United pushing hard to get this Rasmus Hojlund deal done. So, look, I'm feeling very confident on it. I really am. And look, Romano himself said it's a minuscule difference between the clubs. It's just going to be about payment structure. It's just going to be about the overall base fee compared to add-ons. But I have every confidence this deal gets done within the next week, within by the end of this week. Surely it has to be done, because look, if we are bidding this week, and if the bid has gone in now, or if the bid is to go in tomorrow, then that's got to be it. There is no way. Like, I really refuse to believe Manchester United have sat in negotiations for 5 weeks with Atalanta, having personal terms agreed from May with Rasmus Hojlund, if we're just going to put an offer in that's going to get rejected anyway. Big T says Arsenal will be amazing until they bottle it. It's in the DNA. Absolutely, man. And Nixon is asking, Amrabat news, are they real? Yes, the Amrabat news is real. Now, there are sources jumping the gun. So look, if you guys are seeing some sources you haven't recognized before, and they're saying like bid accepted, or Amrabat coming, or he's going to be a United player really, really soon, I don't know if I 100% buy that. What I will say is the facts. The facts of the situation is Manchester United have an agreement with Sofyan Amrabat and his agent. He wants to come to United. Today, Sofyan Amrabat turned down Liverpool, so that's always a good sign for any aspiring Manchester United player. Atalanta want a reasonable fee. They want around 25 million. United have just done the seals to be able to afford it. We are in talks with Fiorentina. I think this gets done. He isn't training with the first team squad. He is training by himself. He's being left out of the preseason friendly matches. I think this is going to be done very quickly. I think it'll be Hojlund first, and then Amrabat a really, really quick second within the next week or so as well. Dan says we need Hojlund, and we need to get them for the last 2 games of preseason. Yep, that has to be the aim. I think what we're playing on the 5th and we're playing on the 6th of August. 2 matches. We've got one in Manchester, one in Dublin. I think United should be looking at those. I think United should be aiming at those to try get the new players in for. At least then they have 2 matches with their teammates that they will be playing in, and that can make a big difference. Better than going in cold against Wolverhampton first day in the season, where they're going to come to United, be hard to beat. Let's see, next thing is saying, is the news of West Ham bidding for Scott McTominay real? Yes, look, yes and no. Now, look, there has been reports on United looking to bid for Scott McTominay from West Ham. I don't think they've actually put a bid in yet. I think they're interested in McTominay. One thing we can say is Manchester United want a lot of money for Scott McTominay. It's around about £40 million. That's maybe too much for West Ham's valuation. I think this is happening for 2 reasons. First and foremost, we have West Ham looking 105 million for Declan Rice. They've got all this money now. Clubs want them to spend it. Number 2, they had bid £40 million for Conor Gallagher, which has been turned down. So I'm feeling confident that there's interest from West Ham. It's just whether United are reasonable enough to do a fee, to do a deal. Because look, if we're signing Amrabat, we don't need McTominay. We really don't. And we can let him go. And if you're selling McTominay for 25 million, bringing Amrabat in for 25 million, that's a net zero spend, and you have a massive, massive upgrade. Stephanie says, looks like Hojlund and Amrabat are not going to feature in many of the remaining preseason games. No, even if they do sign, I don't think they feature in America. I think it'll be when they come back. So we'll have 2 matches. We play Lons at Old Trafford, and then we play Athletic Bilbao in Dublin. That's going to be the matches as well. Chatsport says 40 million is accurate international player. Yeah, look, it's one of them. If West Ham were selling McTominay, they'd be looking 40 million. I do understand it. I think United probably need to come down a little bit. I think 25 to 30 million pounds is a very fair valuation based on his age, on his international status, on his Premier League experience. I think that's a fair price. I do. Stephanie saying Scott McTominay perfect for West Ham and it's all profit, whatever the selling fee. Yeah, I agree. Andrew, good to see you, man. You're saying Scott McTominay must go and Amrabat doesn't need preseason. I don't think he does, in the sense that I don't think he comes in and instantly starts for Manchester United. And I think that's going to be a big thing, because he'll be coming in. We already have a lot of cover in those positions. We have Kobe Menu, we have Casemiro, we have Mount, we have Bruno, we have Eriksen, we have Donny van de Beek in there currently. Whether he goes or not, a lot depends. But there's a lot of players in those positions we actually would not need Sofyan Amrabat to play from week 1. I think Hojlund is different because chances are Martial is going to get injured in pre-season. It's just the facts of life. It is the way things go. So I would expect that to be done pretty soon. Ronnie, good to see you. Do you think we can have two deals done by the weekend? It's a good question, man. It is a good question. Honestly, I think we get Hojlund done this week. I think by Sunday it will either be done or about to be announced. I think if we're putting an official bid in tomorrow or Thursday, hopefully that's going to get accepted. And I'm working off the premise that United have been working on this deal for a long time. We know what Atalanta will accept. We know what they will reject. Hopefully we give them an offer that they can say yes to. And that's what I think the key of this situation will be. And if we do that, I think it's a done deal. Look, personal terms are done a long time ago. We have Hojlund saying to his agent, if PSG call, leave them unread. We only want to go to Manchester United. So I think it gets done. I do think it gets done. Big T says, who in the chat is watching the Wrexham game? I'm watching it and we'll be looking for a watch along. Oh man, I don't think I'm going to be up at 3:30 a.m. tomorrow watching Wrexham play the under 23s with Johnny Evans. I don't know. I feel like United Stand will probably do one. I feel like Goldbridge will be up all night, so it might be Goldbridge or nothing on that one. Let me see what else we've got. Chatsport says 35 million plus throw in a bubble machine. Yeah, give those guys some fairy liquid, all the fairy liquid they want, plus Scott McTominay, and they can take Maguire as well. That's my offer to those guys. And Dan says too late for me in the morning, but we'll watch it when home. United Stands probably have watch long. Yeah, they probably will do that. That's probably the best way to go. I have work myself, so I'll be up at 8 o'clock. So there's no way I'm going to be watching 3:30 a.m. Wrexham. Stephanie is saying, if we get these two deals done, that's a hat trick of signings from Serie A. Yes, and that's something I did want to say to you guys. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure who it was, somebody had said, we were signing a lot of players from the Eredivisie, and that especially happened last year. We're buying a lot of Dutch players, buying a lot of Ajax players. This season, we've kind of done the opposite. We've been looking at Serie A. But even in Serie A, I guess, Onana played for Ten Hag before. Technically, as well, Sofyan Amrabat did at FC Utrecht. So that's an interesting one as well. Drop a like on the video as well, guys. We're up to 29 likes. Can we get to 30 likes on the video? Would be much appreciated. Big T says it's Johnny Evans' 200th United appearance. Get the beers in. Oh man, Johnny Evans, proper United hero. And I was watching a video, I think it was Haddock had done it, and they were talking with Johnny Evans. Just a nice guy, he really is. Ronnie's saying green, red, white. And Dan says Evans last Premier League winner in our squad from the Fergie era. Yeah, he was, man. That's another interesting one. And she says a fridge only costs 250 quid. Yeah, man. Too bad. I mean, we did pay what 80 million for Maguire. Oh man, it still gets to me as well every single day. So player going out of Manchester United, and we have Nathan Bishop going to Sunderland on a permanent deal. That's Yeah, I can't complain with that. I mean, he's like a third choice goalkeeper, was on loan at a couple of teams before. I think it's the right guy and time to sell him as well. I'm not going to complain too much about that at all. I mean, there's a lot of good goalkeepers at this club and a lot of good young goalkeepers, and Kovar clearly is a long way ahead of those guys. Lee Sharp, good to see you. Thanks for hopping in there, man. Much appreciated. Who else have we got down there? Would you be happy to warm the bench for 40k a week or drop a division for first team football? It's a good question, man. Look, a lot of that depends on players' motivation, and it really, really does depend on that. Some people are money motivated, and they will always chase the money, and that's to be expected. It's the same in all walks of life, be it working in Tesco's, be it working for Manchester United, be it playing for Manchester United, be it managing United, or be it, I don't know, working in the government, being an MP. Some people are just naturally money motivated. So some people will chase the bag. Some people will want the personal satisfaction of knowing they're succeeding as well. I don't know. It all depends person to person. Andrew says Moise had no idea he was going to buy beans. It tells you. Yeah, I mean, it does, man. It really does. Ronnie says, I was saying in JB Sports the other day, I love the green, red, and black away top. Gonna have to get it made. Yeah, I mean, man, go for it. It's not my style. I don't think I really like it, but I don't really wear stripy clothes. So, but I mean, it does look nice. I do appreciate it as well. Let's see. Big T says, I've never seen Bishop play. I've seen Bishop play once. And it wasn't for United. Was over in Manchester with a couple of friends. We went to go see Salford versus Mansfield Town, and he was playing for Mansfield, and he let a penalty in right in front of us. So that's about all I could tell you about that guy. Stephanie says, looks like Ahmad injury will not be that serious. Yes, that's a big one, guys. Really, really important for Mad Diallo that he's not going to be seriously injured, and I'm really happy with that as well. Dan says Van Gaal was ruthless with players like Evans and then played Blackett instead. Yeah, I mean, we had a back three of what, like Tyler Blackett, Paddy McNair, and Chris Smalling at one stage. Phil Jones in there. Dan likes the third kit. Luman's asking as well. What would I do if I was Mbappe? It's a difficult situation. Look, the move he really wants is Real Madrid. He clearly really, really wants to go to Real Madrid. Whether I don't think that can happen because they don't really have the money at the moment. They've spent a lot of money to bring in Bellingham. They weren't thinking Mbappe this year. They were thinking Mbappe next year. So it's going to be an interesting one for him. Obviously, PSG, no club in the world is going to turn down 300 million for a player. I don't care how much money you have. No club is turning that down. So, look, I think for Mbappe, it might be the best thing if he stays on a PSG for another year. He obviously doesn't want to do that, so I don't know. We're going to see what happens there as well. Daz is saying green white kit with a bit of red. Big T says it's styled on our first ever away kit, I believe. Yeah, I've seen the old historical photos. I don't know. It's just maybe not exactly my thing. Lucky says as well, so glad we found terms on Amrabat transfer. Player wants to leave. And Andrew says as well, the managers after Ferguson thought they could win with their own players and buys. They fell short hopelessly. Sir Alex was on another level. He made players look brilliant. Yeah, look, he did. And that's one of the big things. I think the biggest thing's got to be standards. And look, yeah, I completely understand the pointing at, you know, a lot of managers bringing in their own players and bringing in people that they've worked with before. But I feel like it's kind of different with Ten Hag, because one thing that Ten Hag has that a lot of the other managers maybe didn't is Eric Ten Hag has he has this kind of aura about him, and it's like you genuinely tell that this guy has the respect of the players, and he works as hard as the players do. He holds himself as accountable. So that's what I think the big difference is. Lee Sharp says 300 million for one player. Seriously, that'll set a benchmark for super players. Yeah, well, man, I mean, look, PSG started the ball running. They paid 220 million for Neymar and 200 million for Mbappe in the one window, I think. So, like, I don't know, like, it's kind of what comes around goes around for those guys as well. So we do have a small update coming in here as well. This is something I would like to see. This is something I would really like to see, and that is Luton Town would like to sign Hannibal Mejbri on loan. The player would like a Premier League move, and I can't argue with that, guys. I really, really cannot argue, because that's going to help him so much. If he's playing week in, week out Premier League football, that could make his career. That could turn him into the player he always could have been. Stephanie says, I remember Lee Sharp's hat-trick against Arsenal to Arsenal 6-2 away in the Rumsbro Cup 1991, striped blue and white kit. Yeah, actually I remember that one as well, man. I do remember that. Big T says we're always going to be shit after Fergie left. Yeah, look, I don't think anyone would have predicted it could take us 10 years to at least get close to winning a trophy. I mean, who would have expected going 6 years without a trophy? I don't know. Like, we could not have expected it to be as bad as what it was. But I mean, I have a good feeling. I feel like we are genuinely on the right track. We are heading on the right direction, and that's something we haven't been able to say for a long time. Lee loved that kid as well. Yeah, it's a good one, man. It was a good one, and look, I'm really want to try get the green and gold kit. I would love that one as well. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in down below. In terms of the poll, 84 votes, and we have 79% of you guys going for yes. You guys are backing United to do two transfers within 1 week. I love the confidence, and I really hope it happens. Irfan says Mbappe is not a number 9. United have Rashford and Garnacho. Yeah, we do. I don't think we're going to be getting Kylian Mbappe. I just don't see that happening. I really don't. And look, exceptional player. I just don't think we're going to have the money there. I don't think we're going to spend the money on the wages. I just can't see it happening, guys. I really, really can't see it going down that way. Daz is saying, I think Hannibal can get game time, but alone makes more sense if we're getting Amrabat. Yeah, look, you're looking at a very, very stacked midfield. You're looking at Eriksen and Mount and Bruno and Amrabat, Manu and Casemiro. Maybe we keep Donny van de Beek as well. So, you know, there definitely is a lot of players there who are ahead of Mesbury in the pecking order. So it might be the better thing for him to go out and get that sort of loan spell. That might be something really good for him. Andrew is saying, is it green to do with United's old colours by any chance? Yeah, it's Newton Heath used to play in green and gold as well. Ashid is saying Ten Hag calling shots at United. Yeah, he is. And that's what I like to see, guys. I like to see a manager stamp his authority on the club. And look, whilst I agree that we do have to plan for managers leaving, things can go wrong, I do think it's important that you get the right manager, let him stamp his authority on the club. And the biggest thing for me is if you have a contingency plan, like you're not going to go and do a complete 180-degree flip to something completely different. I think that makes a massive, massive difference. Look, when Pep Guardiola eventually leaves Man City, they're not going to go bring in Big Sam. They're not. It's going to be someone in the same mold. It's going to be someone in the same idea, and that's going to be the continuation of that. And that saves you from having to tear your team up, completely rebuilding you every time you've got a new manager coming in. So it's the same in all things in life. It really is. You know, you need to have a clear plan of direction, and whether you go slightly off the course of where you originally intended, you know, that's fine. But you don't want to go 10 miles down the road and then turn around, walk back to where you were, and then go 10 miles down the other side, because you're never getting anywhere in that way. Terry, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Andrew says the last time we had green was 93 or 94. Yes, it was one of the older kits. I definitely remember Keane and Cantona and the likes in it. So pretty iconic kit. I'm pretty sure we probably won the Premier League in that year. Big T says, should we start a new club called Newton Heath and forget about the Glazers? Yeah, I mean, look, people have done that already. We have FC United of Manchester. Something tells me Newton Heath might be copyrighted by United as well. Stephen is saying, best ever official United away one was a 94 black view cam one. I had Cantona's on mine. Yeah, I actually have mine hanging up right there. So I do have one as well. I don't know if you guys can see it. I've got a couple of jerseys up there and stuff. Stephanie says City will fall off when Pep eventually goes. Yeah, he will. Look, make no mistake about it. And it's the same with Liverpool. They will fall off when Klopp goes, because those guys have been there for a long time. And it's kind of like when City was there. Whenever Fergie was at United, he wasn't just first team manager. That guy had complete control, top to bottom of the club. And that's one of the biggest reasons. I think United let a guy who was running the entire club go, who knew everybody, had a clear plan for the club go, and we replaced him with just a manager. And that's kind of one of the differences. And look, I remember last year when Erik ten Hag had just been announced as United manager, Ferguson did an interview. It was a very short interview, and it was at the horse racing. But he said one line, and one line was really, really big in it, and it was really important to me. And he says, United needs someone to come in, get a grip of the club, top to bottom. And that's what I think ten Hag has done. I think top to bottom, you know, he's taking a lot of responsibility on with running that with running the youth teams. He's taking a lot of direction, control on the academy, on the transfer stuff. So he's really stamping the authority on Manchester United, and that's what we've needed as well. We've needed someone top to bottom come in and do something big. Who else we got down here? Big T says, I remember the comeback against City when Cantona scored two and King got the other, and Cantona in the black kit. Yeah, honestly, man, Kung Fu kicks and all that. Andrew says, I feel like Pep has an agenda at City to beat Sir Alex's record and claim the best. I don't think so. I think Pep has alluded that he isn't going to be there for a lot more seasons. I think he's got, what, like 4 or 5 Premier Leagues? I don't see him staying on for at least another 10, 15 years, hopefully. So I don't think that's going to happen. So we do have an update coming in on Sofian Amrabat. So United are preparing an official offer. Agreement has already been found with Amrabat. United are finding a proposal of 23 to 25 million euros to Fiorentina. I think it's not a bad deal. I really don't, guys. I think at the price, This is what we call a value for money signing. This is what we call a player coming in at the right age to make a big difference. Big T says, do we need 10 Hag time approved sponsor tag here? Stephanie says, shirt print with Cantona Kung Fu kick with the words I saw United and live. Love it, absolutely. But yeah, look, something we have noticed as well. I want to bring this up with you guys. It's only a small thing, and it looks a tiny thing, but it's something I think that is important. Manchester United's pre-season tours for many, many years were about going out and getting sponsorships as much as it was about the football. It really was. And look, United were going out. We were getting pillow sponsors, mattress sponsors, noodle sponsors. We were getting shoelace sponsors, hair gel sponsors. The good thing what we've done this year is there's only 2 commercial days the entire tour, so I think that's really good, making a big difference. And look, it's kind of showing the shifting attitude. I don't think United seem to be as commercially driven as what they have been in the past. And look, there is still a lot of that elements there, make no mistake about it. Like, we have just got a skincare sponsor, but I'm not seeing us going out getting tractor sponsors, going out getting noodle sponsors and stuff. So hopefully that's going to make some sort of a difference, guys. Hopefully United can be seen to be moving in the right direction. And look, I think that Amrabat story is really, really good, guys, and I'm excited about it. This is a guy who comes in, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but he will be a tempo controller in the middle of the pitch as much as he is a player who comes in and adds some defensive steel. And it's really important that United have that. A lot of what we're going to be seeing next season is going to be quick transitions as well as controlling the ball, of course. But that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be holding the ball, waiting for the moment to strike. Then we're going to move it quickly, vertically up the pitch. And that's going to be really important. Having somebody in like Amrabat who can take the sting out of the match, pick it up, slow it down, speed it up again, that's going to be so different. And I feel like United have needed players like that for a long, long time. And it's something that Paul Scholes did really well throughout his United career, and he was one of the best at it. We would go from playing at a walking pace to being right up against the opposition in the blink of an eye, and then we would slow it down when we needed to, whenever the opposition were coming back into it. I feel like tempo setters, it's a bit of a lost art in football at the minute. Let's see. Luman says, does credit go to Ten Hag? Apparently it is Ten Hag's decision to go more based on the actual football stuff and not trying to get sponsorships for everything. Terry says, agree with Stephanie. City will follow well like United did when Fergie left. Sir Alex built amazing teams, way smaller budgets and Pep. Yeah, and look, the big thing with Ferguson as well, you know, we managed to keep it going and had that sort of evolution and kept rebuilding as well. And that's even harder than building a team in the first place. And there was signs last year. It will be interesting to see what Klopp does this year, because he has been accused of that in the past. This guy can build a team, but he's too sentimental to rebuild a team. So we're going to see what happens there. Big T says, I would love to see pre-season tour around the UK against lower league clubs with tickets on general sale. Yeah, look, that could be fun, make no mistake about it. That's genuinely like old school football. We're talking like 60s style there. It would be good. And over in Northern Ireland here, there is, well, it used to be called the Milk Cup, now it's called the Super Cup. United young teams there over playing local teams, playing some of the big European teams as well. So it is all good as well. Andrew says, when Pep leaves clubs, they find it hard to cope. Check Barca and Bayern. Yeah, look, they had years in the wilderness. Bayern Munich won German league titles because they would win German league titles if they had Maguire up front. That's the difference here. Who else we got? Ronnie saying, my wife has the old grey top, the one that United done with vest because they thought it was unlucky with Cantona on the back, and she loves it. Yeah, man, just don't let anybody out in the fog and not sure how they might get lost, according to Fergie. Let's see. There was some other stuff I wanted to go over as well, guys. Yeah, so here's one as well. So this maybe isn't a transfer story, but it is something I want to talk about, and that is Kobbie Mainoo. So all around Old Trafford, there's a big enthusiasm and big excitement over the potential of Kobbie Mainoo and the ability he has to be a first-team player. Really, really positive stuff that I really want to see more of this guy. I really do. I can't wait to Thursday night to see Kobbie Mainoo playing against Real Madrid. If he can go out and have another match like he did against Arsenal, against Real Madrid, against Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Modric, guys like that, what a player we have in our hands. And he really would be ready for first-team football if he can go out and prove that. I really firmly believe that as well. Stephanie says, will Ten Hag rotate the midfield as Bruno the constant, might use Amrabat and Casemiro for big away games to ensure results? Yeah, look, I will be 100% behind that. And I think Ten Hag is pragmatic enough that he will suck it up. He will take maybe not his first choice ideals in terms of how we want to play if it ensures results. You know, we seen this last season. You know, we really moved away from the Ten Hag football at the start of the year. We played a little bit uglier. We got picked up results. We picked our league form up. We managed to go through in the cups, and ultimately it paid dividends. Look, there was times last year we didn't play great football, and anyone would admit that to you, but United just need to keep on going. I think if we go and genuinely set up Amrabat, Casemiro, Mason Mount as a midfield three in those big matches, that could be massive. And we've seen enough in the past to suggest that Bruno might be put in the right wing. I don't think it's a bad idea. It really gives us some solidity if that's going to be how we line up. Then maybe we go Rashford off the left, Hojlund through the middle. That makes a big difference to this United team. Make no mistake about it. Let's see. Who else have we got down here? Irfan says, Japanese goalkeeper Zion Suzuki has turned down a move to Manchester United. Yeah, we spoke about this earlier, and I think Big Team made a really good point on it. He's focused on trying to go to the Olympics, and whilst the Olympics isn't big for a lot of European teams, for a lot of South American teams, for Japan, that's a really good chance for them to win some trophies and well, we call it silverware, but I mean, it's a gold medal, to win a gold medal for their country, and that's not something they often get the chance to do. So, look, I understand that. If his concern is genuinely about playing football, then I wish him all the best, and I think that's nothing but a bad thing. And look, United season isn't going to be made or broke by having a backup goalkeeper. It really will not be. So if it's Tom Heaton, if it's Matej Kovar, United will be fine. It just would have been a nice deal to have done. Drop a like on the video as well, guys, and vote on the poll. We're up to 100 votes, and almost 80% of you guys have the faith in John Murda and Matt Hargreaves to go out and get these deals done within the next week. So I'm loving that confidence. I really am. I hope you guys are right. Like, I really, really, really hope that you guys are right on that one as well. Let me see, who else have we got down here? Andrew says we have to give Ten Hag the support. He will make a few mistakes. He will feel, but fans have to support him. He needs us more than ever. A big step in United's history after Ferguson. Yeah, and look, Fergie made mistakes. Fergie had bad times. There was rough times. There was amazing times. Look, I'm going to stick by Ten Hag because I believe in the guy. I really, really do. And look, I really don't believe in the whole chasing and hounding managers out of the football club. I want managers to be given the time. I think Ten Hag's earned the time, and that's why I'm going to back him. Definitely all of next season for sure and beyond. No doubt he's the right man for me. Stephanie says, Man who has confidence, belief, and genuine talent. Ease him in easier home games. Yeah, and that's what I think we need to do, guys. Big T saying goldware. Yeah, man, look, you know what I mean? We can't really say silverware when it's an Olympic gold medal. But yeah, look, I'm agreeing with what Steph is saying as well. I think a big thing's got to be how we work Kobbie Mainoo into this team, and that's going to be managing him well. That's going to be playing him in matches he can excel in, giving him the challenges at the right time as well. There's a big future ahead for this kid. There really, really is. He's a special talent. He is a player who can achieve a lot in football, can be a wonderful player for Manchester United. I cannot wait to see what he's going to be doing. Stephanie says, if Ten Hag stays for 10 years, we will have won trophies and hopefully at least 2 or 3 Premier Leagues. Yeah, exactly. And the longer your manager is there, the more successful your club has been. So I don't want to see quick turnarounds. I don't want to see managers coming and going on 2-year contracts, 3-year contracts. If Ten Hag comes in and he's here for 10 years, then we've won some big trophies, and that's nothing but a great thing for Manchester United. So that's what we need to be doing, guys. Irfan is saying, Mainoo, 2 years in the gym, he will become world class. Yeah, but he's already a strong guy. Like, I've seen him in the gym. I've seen his photos on social media and stuff. You know, the guy, for 18 years old, he is well built. He is very fit. He's got an engine on him. He's got that desire. He's got the talent. Let's just see where he goes in the game. Big T says, if Ten Hag gets it right, he is young enough to take charge of more games than Fergie. Would not be nice. It would be. It really would be. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see how long Erik Ten Hag can last. And look, one of the big things, guys, it's about getting backed in the market. And I think he's being backed. I do think he is getting backed. to an extent. I feel like he would like more, but I feel like this is the man who can bring us back to the top manager, top talent ID, top leader, and really, really good tactician as well. So the more we buy into his philosophy, the more we buy into his style of football, the more chances we give him to go out and win something, the better we're going to be for it. And look, I can't wait to see where this team's going. I'm really excited for the next season, and it might be that blind optimism we always get around July, around August, but I'm very excited for this season. I really am, and I think United can go on to do something big. Look, I might be wrong. We might flop. We might genuinely end up playing on the floor. Let's find out what happens. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be unpredictable, but I think we can do it. Clinton is saying, "What's up, guys? Hojlund deal isn't going to be an easy one. Amrabat, this is kind of wait and see." Yeah, look, I do agree with you to an extent. The big thing with Atalanta is Atalanta are one of the only Italian clubs who are profitable. They have a very good business model. They manage to make profit, and that's why they can hold out for bigger deals. That's why they can hold out full stop. But I still think this gets done. I think it gets done for many reasons. First and foremost, Rasmus Hojlund wants to join Manchester United. Secondly, we have been talking about this for a long time. If there was no encouragement, if there was very little chance of United actually signing Hojlund, I don't think that we would still be in talks for him. And all this talk, £85 million, if that was the price they were demanding, we wouldn't be in for him right now. We would have walked on and we would have went to another target. Let's see, Limon says social media has made a big impact in the way I see football in the Premier League now. Yeah, look, it definitely changes things. It really does. And there are some brilliant people out there working in football who are on social media, and they have some brilliant takes. And there's some people out there who make things up. They sit and shout at a camera over and over again. I'm not having a dig at anyone in particular, and like I'm not going at United stand or anything because I think they do good works. But I mean, there are people out there who thrive off negativity, and look, we know this already. Like a lot of those guys who were on the likes of AFTV and stuff, you know, we know what it's been like, and it does change the way you see football. And I feel like, especially on places like Twitter, we can really see cult followings. It can be good, it can be bad, and it's definitely changed how I look at the football as well. So it's a real big difference. Big T says relegation battle would be different type of fun. I imagine surviving last day of the season feels better than winning. Yeah, look, it might do, and it would be a really different thing. Like I can't believe I genuinely can't believe what it would be like to be in a relegation fight. I've never known it in my life. Hopefully, we never will know it. Stephanie's saying Ahmad come in from Atalanta and cost us. Yeah, he did cost us money as well. It was a big move. A lot of it was add-ons, and they took it for Amad Diallo because he wasn't quite a first-team player there yet. He wasn't really playing week in, week out. It's a big thing. It's going to be a big jump for Hojlund, but I'm praying that the guy can do it. I really think he can. I believe in him. I believe in Ten Hag, and let's see what they can do together. Let's see what Erik Ten Hag can get out of Rasmus Hojlund. We're gonna find out. It's gonna happen, in my opinion. It's gonna be coming soon. Let's see. Oh, that's just in relation as well about the the relegation there. Yeah, I mean, look, it definitely would be the highs and lows of it. The only thing I can really compare it to is that Aguero goal, I guess. Like, that was the most heartbroken I've ever felt at football because it was so last minute. Let's see, we have a small update coming in from a source called Fiorentina News, and they're saying Sofian Amrabat close to joining Manchester United for €25 million plus bonuses. These are decisive hours now for the transfer. We're going to find out if this is true. I have a sense this is jumping the gun. I feel like whenever we see, like whenever players are going to a club, whenever we see them potentially going, one thing we do see is a lot of these smaller accounts, a lot of these lesser known journalists, news outlets, what they do is they kind of jump the gun because if they get it right, they'll look like they're absolute geniuses. And that's something that we have to remember. Let's see. Pep is a great manager, no denying that. Says Lee. Terry says Pep had everything. He needed money, really good team, but he is an amazing manager. Ten Hag will dethrone him in a few years, but hopefully if we push him, I believe it's in us. Yeah, look, I do agree. Pep is a great manager, but I do think he needs that backing to get it out of his teams. And I think it takes Pep a while to get it right. And look, we've seen that at City. He has been given the ability to bring in the players he wants. And if he gets it wrong, he can bin them off and he can go and buy somebody else. I think that's one of the big things. He's bought what, like 5 or 6 fullbacks, like 4 or 5 centre backs, a lot of midfielders, quite a few forward players as well. You know, there is a lot of business done at Man City. And I think Ten Hag has been given that level of power over this club. If he brings somebody in and they don't work, we shouldn't be telling him, you paid the money for him, you wanted him, make him work. We should be saying, right, if he's not going to work, let's go get somebody else. Big T says, thinking about it might take a year away from United and cheer on Luton. It could be a fun one, man. Kennelsworth Road would be a unique experience for a lot of guys. Chatsport says, get Pep at Spurs and say, yeah, it just wouldn't work. Like, and we know this already. And that's why I think Pep is still at Man City. It's where does he go next in the game as well? I think that has to be asked. Whether he goes, I don't know. Like, he can't go to Bayern. He might go back to Barca, I guess. I mean, what else is there for Pep? Like, genuinely, he's not going to take a PSG job. I don't think he's going to manage Spain. Let's see. Stephanie says Pep had money at Barca, Bayern, and City. Yeah, and look, he has made players better. Make no mistake about it. But I mean, the man walked into a Barcelona team with Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Puyol, Victor Valdez, Abidal, Tura, Eto, Thierry Henry. Like, it was not a bad team that man walked into whatsoever, guys. Andrew saying, Pep and money, that's how it is. Liban says Pep can take Luton finish top 4 in the league. I don't think he can, man. I really don't. And Dan reckons MLS for Pep, nice retirement. Man, could you imagine if Pep ends up at Inter Miami? It would just be Barca Old Boys Club. It really would. Let me check. I want to see if there's anything else that I might have missed out on earlier, just going through the agenda I typed up earlier. Don't actually think so. I actually think we're pretty much all caught up. Not too much else breaking online either. So it looks like it's going to be a quiet Tuesday for Manchester United. Looks like it's going to be a quiet Tuesday night. The big one, as Dan has said, Manchester United, with the signing of the summer, it's Julia Roberts herself, and Pep is in the mud with that one. Lucky Singh is saying Sheikh Mansour will stay on after Pep leaves. I mean, yeah, he will. Look, I don't think they're going to sell Man City. I really don't think they're going to do that. And look, City will still be a force without Pep Guardiola. Make no mistake about it. But it's going to be what's going to happen there. So we have an update actually coming in for you guys as well. So West Ham have held initial talks with Manchester United over Maguire and McTominay. Gap in valuation for both players. United see them as important players of the squad, and it will require very big bids for United to even consider a sale. I don't know why we're so pressed about keeping McTominay and so pressed about keeping Harry Maguire, because it's just not... They're just not that good, guys. Like, seriously, like, I don't know. I think United need to be real. I think United need to have a look in the mirror. They need to realize that Maguire and McTominay, they're not good players. They really aren't. Let's see. Limman is saying, would you take Kimmich over Amrabat? Yeah, look, I would. Absolutely. I think he's a much better player, but Kimmich is going to cost you £80 million, maybe more. He might not want to leave. Like, he might be at Bayern Munich for life, and gotta respect that. Can't not respect that. He probably will never leave Bayern Munich. I really don't think it's gonna happen. Andrew says, I was shocked at how Pep spoke about Julia. I just laughed my shocks off. And Stephanie saying 3 million out. Yeah, guys, big ups to yourself, honestly. Like, thanks so much for the chat as well. Yeah, these midweek streams, like they usually are, quite smaller as well. So big ups to you guys. You have managed to keep me going throughout tonight's stream. And with that in mind, guys, gonna drop off. Probably gonna leave it here as well. So yeah, so I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm hopefully gonna record something as well tomorrow if I get opportunity during the day. I will let you guys know as well. So big ups to you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good Wednesday.